What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. Today I'm going to light up your shoulders like a Christmas tree. And we're going to use just a couple dumbbells to do it. And probably, here's the irony, some exercises that you've done many, many times before, but not in this way. Now look, you've probably done a lot of front shoulder raises, side shoulder raises, and rear delt raises in your life. And the idea was that you're going to hit your front delts, your middle delts, and your rear delts. But have you ever thought about changing the position of your body? Because if you did, you'd work a hell of a lot more than just your delts in isolation, and you change the entire impact those exercises have on your delts in the process. Why is that? Well, I'm down on the ground for a reason, guys, because we call this the kneeling lateral series. And all you have to do is alternate these movements for 3 minutes straight and see if you can last. My bet is you may not. And it's because the muscles around these bigger muscles, the delts, are actually probably pretty weak, and they're not used to working alongside those muscles, and we need to make sure they are. When we get down in this position here, this is a closed chain position, meaning we have some biofeedback. We have our arm in contact with the ground, closed chain, meaning just like our feet could be on the ground in a closed chain exercise like the squat. But what's interesting about this is where we evolved from, right? We used to get around on 4 limbs with our arms in contact with the ground, so the muscles of our scapula have always been wired to work better with our delts as we move our arms around when they're in contact with the ground. So how does it play out in real life? Well, if we get down in this position, we start this first exercise, it's a front shoulder raise, a little bit of a Y raise because we're not going straight out in front, but a little bit of an angle. But why is this so interesting? Well, take a look. If I'm actually in this position here and I raise my arm up in front of me, at the top here, I do have gravity acting fully down on my arm, right, on the lever arm, and making my front shoulder, the front delt, work a lot. I haven't sacrificed that. But what have I done? Relative motion. If I have my arm up here like this, now if I sit up, where's the position of the arm? It's higher than it was, right? Just because I had that lean forward. Well, if it's higher and we have elevation, the thing that instantly likes to kick in are the lower traps to assist in that. And that's what they're meant to do. They're meant to assist in stabilizing the shoulder as it gets up in front of your body and elevated. So we get that extra benefit by doing it down here on the ground that we don't get by just raising them out to here. Next movement, you can see me doing here the side lateral raises, alternating right and left. We'll get into how you do the exact series here in a second. What's the benefit here? Done kneeling. Once again, we're in this closed chain position here. When I lift one arm up, I have all my weight going through one arm, which is a better position here for stability through this arm and through the shoulder joint. But now when I raise up to the side, once again, I haven't compromised the effect that this has on the middle delt. But what have I done? I've incorporated the rhomboids. You can see them firing up here. You can see all the muscles of the back firing up. Again, in the way they're meant to. All these muscles attached to the shoulder blade. You can't move your arm without moving your shoulder blade. And your shoulder blade has a lot of different muscles attaching to it that are influencing its movement. So if we can incorporate more of them together to do the job together, we've got a better exercise. And all we had to do is alter the position of our body when we perform that exercise. Next, we move on to the rear delt raise. Now here, you guys know that we normally do this bent over. So there's really not anything beneficial being added here other than the fact that you don't need to transition. There's no transition time. You don't have to rest. You can go right into the exercise. Of course, I'm doing it the way I always show you to do it, and that is to get the arm into extension behind the body and get external rotation. And then finally, we throw one additional exercise in here because we know how important the rotator cuff is in activation into external rotation. We do that here just by doing the W raise, which is where we're trying to actively kind of throw the dumbbell back behind us, form a W here with our arm, which will instantly activate those muscles really, really well. So now, here's the sequence. What you want to do is you want to see if you can go from alternating front shoulder raises, done down here kneeling on the ground, to alternating side lateral raises, to the alternating rear delt raises, and then finally to the alternating W raise. And then you go back and you repeat it. And you go through the entire circuit. And you go back and you repeat it. And you try to let a running clock of 3 minutes go by and see if you can complete the entire sequence, however many times you do, in 3 minutes. Now it's brutal. And there's a reason for it. Because your muscles are not used to firing in this way. But they should be. Guys, you have to allow your bodies to work the way they're supposed to be, or you are leaving gains on the table, I promise you. Once you start to get more stability here, you're going to improve performance on other exercises. Look, I love the overhead shoulder press. In order to perform an overhead shoulder press, you need upward scapular rotation. You do. However, that exercise does not train upward shoulder rotation. So what do I mean by that? It means you can perform upward rotation, but get it in a lot of unhealthy ways. You can compromise the hell out of your shoulder to get upward rotation, but are you getting co-stabilization and activation of the lower traps in order to do that? If you're not, you're in trouble. When you do exercises like this, they help you to build that necessary strength so that you perform better when you go back to that raise, when you go back to any of the other exercises you perform. Guys, try this out. I know it's going to be helpful for you. If you found this video helpful, leave your comments and thumbs up below. If you haven't already, guys, subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. And then finally, if you're looking for a program step-by-step that puts the science back in strength, that cares about all these little things because it matters. It doesn't always require the heaviest weights in the world. Just doing these things is what counts the most. We have them all step-by-step in our ATHLEAN-X program over at ATHLEAN-X.com. All right, guys, we'll be back here again in just a few days with another video. See ya.